Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Toon Review for tonight's match review of Newcastle's thumping, hammering destruction of Ipswich Town at Portman Road. My name's Paul. I'm joined by, of course, Billy Bob. Alex, unfortunately, has the flu, so he can't join us tonight. Hopefully, he'll be back for the Christmas special tomorrow, as will hopefully Sam as well. But if you do enjoy tonight's show, as usual, please hit the thumbs up for us. Very important for the channel that we keep those coming in. And of course, do subscribe if you are new to the channel. We are round about, I think, 48 away from 34,000. 48. That is all we are from 34,000. So please do spread the word, as they say. And hopefully we can get there sooner rather than later. And of course, you can support the channel in the usual two ways. Membership, which is the join button underneath me and Billy. And of course, super chats, which is the $ under the live chat. And that is guaranteed to get your comment read out on the show as well. And of course, a massive thank you to channel sponsor Mamaroo Records, based in Whitley Bay. Pop in and see Steve if you're ever in the area, right in the town centre, for all your music, vinyl, your CDs, your merchandise, sporting merch as well, gift cards. He's got it all. If you can't get into the shop, head to the website. That is pinned at the top of the description. So once again, a big thank you to Mamaroo Records. Jock Murdoch, thank you very much for your super chat. No comment there, but thank you. Good evening, Billy.
Good evening, and good evening to all the Magpie massive out there in Viewerland.
Indeed. Crazy day, Billy, in the Premier League today. Tottenham 3, Liverpool 6. Just an incredible Liverpool side. Bournemouth going to Old Trafford and absolutely mauling them. Wolves a 3-0 win at Leicester. And, of course, Chelsea being held 0-0 as well. Strange day.
It's been an amazing day, hasn't it? The Liverpool performance was outrageous, really. 6-3. Any Spurs fans kind of thinking about going to Wembley, forget it.
Yeah,
that's not happening. They were just outstanding today for Liverpool. Spurs attacked well, but couldn't defend against such an onslaught. Man United were basically out physical off the pitch against Bournemouth. And Wolves' new manager comes in and does a great job there. So, yeah, it's all good.
That's what you call a new manager bounce. Ruud van Nistelrooy must be sick of his life right now. But, yeah, never
What a long face. What a long face.
Why the long face, Ruud, indeed. Anyway, just wanted your take on the video I released earlier on today. I saw a headline while I was scrolling through certain reports, as I normally do, and I came across the one that said Eddie Howe worried about losing Isak. And I thought, oh, here we go again. And then I looked to where the report was coming from, and it was of course TalkSport. So I had a read through, and Tony Cascarino was the one that said, he's sort of looking further into what Eddie Howe's comments were about Isak and how, good he is on the pitch, but not just that, he's fantastic in the dressing room. And Cascarino took that as Eddie saying, oh, he's frightened of losing him. I mean, again, it's complete bullshit from Southern media trying to cause trouble.
That's a bit of poetic license, because not once Eddie said I'm worried about anything.
Yeah.
It's poetic license. People are going to be interested in Alexander Isak. There's no doubt about it, because he's a world-class striker.
Yeah.
We don't need telling that. We know. It's clickbait. All of it's clickbait where TalkSport and the Southern media are concerned. Until anything happens, just take it as read. It's not happening.
Yeah. I just want to say there is a few comments on the video and so far in the chat just saying don't let it get to you. Right, but I'm not letting it get to me personally. But when I hear people talking about the area again and how nobody wants to live in the northeast because it's all grey and dull and it's just a third world region in the UK, it's bollocks, right? And I hate it. So I am going to respond to it every time because we have to fight for where we live, and we have to. We have to put it across that, not to let these idiots get away with talking about our region like that. Doesn't matter which team you support in the region. It's our region where we live, and we are going to say something about it. So it doesn't get to me personally, but I feel like I've got to have a say in it and stick up for the region because no one else will. Everybody's saying, oh, ignore it. But that's letting them get away with it and talk about the Northeast as if it's just a piece of shit you wipe off your shoe. And it's not. We said this when, Troy Deeney said his crap and like Bon Lahore. I'm going to respond because I feel like, we have to back our region up. And I know you don't live in the region, Billy, but you've got very strong links to Newcastle. And Newcastle fans, who don't live in the region have an opportunity to stick up for the region as well, because they come to watch the games there. They spend a lot of time in Newcastle. And it's just very, very disrespectful. So, yes, ignore it by all means. However, as somebody with a media platform, I can get out there and fight back and say something back to these bloody pricks.
Yeah, there's good and bad places in every city and town in England and around the world, actually. It's not just about the country. However, the best parts of Newcastle are better than any other parts of it in the country, as far as I can see. Countryside, coastline. And like stats I said the other day, it's got everything that anyone would want. Whatever your persuasion is, whether you like museums, architecture, history, if you like all that stuff, you've got Newcastle United's got bags of it. If you like nightlife, Newcastle United's got Newcastle upon Tyne's got bags of that. The river is a fantastic thing to look at. So it's a terrific town and city, I should say. London's got some great bits as well.
It has.
But unfortunately, they kind of look down on Newcastle as if it's some kind of dump. It really isn't. It really isn't. It's got everything you would want. The history, the architecture, the nightlife, the friendliness of the people, which is something a lot of London people haven't got. The actual people's disposition of how they are with people coming to visit. It's a phenomenal place. It really is.
And the thing is, I think they use that excuse as reasons not for footballers to come and play for Newcastle United. They use that. They use the area as a reason for them not to play for Newcastle. And I think that's what fucking stinks with me, is the fact that they always use the area as a reason why you shouldn't play for Newcastle United Football Club. Not the fact that it's a wonderful football club, wonderful facilities, richest owners in the world, which will turn things around for Newcastle in the coming years, etc., etc. It's just all so bollocks annoying. And somebody questioned me earlier on, actually, in the comments, saying that I mentioned the Pennines in my video. Yes, I mentioned the Pennines because the Pennines is literally the northern Pennines start just south of me. So I regularly drive through the Pennines. So anyone questioning me saying the Pennines need to work out their geography, because I've had loads of family time up just leaving and heading through Walsingham and up that way and into the northern Pennines. So get your geography right before you question what I say on a video. Jesus. Anyway, some super chats to go through. Jens, thank you for yours. The Spurs performance today, no wonder why Poole paid for them in the semi. It's incredible how bad they were. Just gave goals away. It was shocking. Doug from the Dugout channel, of course, Dugout Football channel, big friend of the channel. He's been a member on here for 34 months, Billy. Thank you, mate. Christmas crackers for us both. Merry Christmas to everyone at the Toon Review. Hope you all have a great day when it comes. Thank you, mate, and to you and yours. Kungle Fox, thank you for your super chat. Don't know if you've noticed the amount of times Tonali would drop into centre-back to let Cher and Byrne go into midfield. Definitely a new tactic. Well, we saw plenty from Tonali yesterday, Billy, and he did actually do that quite a few times. He was everywhere. He was left back, centre back, defensive midfielder, getting up front as well. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, he just sees everything on the pitch, doesn't he? He understands where cover is needed, and he seems to be there every time we need it. He's just a really clever, intelligent footballer with magic in his boots and pace in his calves.
He's incredible, and it's not just that, Billy. We know it's the way he passes the ball. It's the way he conducts himself on the pitch. He can spot a pass a mile away, and the way he and Bruno are now combining. And I think, well, from what I watched yesterday, Tonali is definitely sitting further back than Bruno for the majority of the game now. We're getting a bit of a rhythm there in midfield. And a lot of these people who said Bruno and Tonali can't play together, I think that's put to bed now.
Yeah, it was always going to work. I mean, the two of them have got different kind of qualities. So you mix them together, you've got two fantastic footballers. And I wouldn't swap our midfield for anyone's in the country, I've got to say. Not anyone's.
Yeah. Northfield Jeff says, thank you everyone at TTR for another great year. Always there to keep me company at work throughout the week and watch-alongs. Anyone calling the Northeast needs to read a history book. Joe says, my hubby is an HGV driver, is regularly in London, and he always says the best thing about London is the road out. Yeah, I heard that before. Baz says, Tonali was all over the pitch, the same as he plays for Italy. Sandro, Paul Wells says, Sandro has thighs of a Roman god.
I haven't studied it that closely, to be fair.
No, I'm going to say neither have I, but yeah, fair enough, mate. If absolutely.
If you've done the intense work, then good for you. Yeah, you could be our expert on Sandro's thighs.
James Ansell says, Northern Pennines, yeah, it's part of Newcastle. Also, when it snows, you can ski on it. Exactly, James. Thank you, mate. I found it bizarre, that comment, actually. Sandro is in the house. He says, I'm a goalkeeper next week. I will give everything for this club. I think we've possibly noticed that it's not Sandro Tonali, really, because of the FIR. Thankfully, 10 games in, Eddie has finally put it together and come up with how to play Tonali. Indeed. Look, I think it's time that we stop maybe just talking about the past, Billy, and why Tonali's never been in this. He started on the bench. There's gone now. We should look forward to what's to come.
100%. However, you say that. Why has it taken so long? Because anyone could see that the two of them could work together. We saw Tonali play on the left for Italy and be outstanding there. We've seen Bruno do all the stuff he's done at Newcastle United. Yeah. I never thought there'd be any doubt that the two could play together. It's just took a little tweak to get Tonali further back and push Bruno a little bit forward. I mean, a lot of people were saying that 6-7 weeks ago. So it's not rocket science as such.
Yeah. Terrace says Bruno Tonali and Joe Linton, the best Premier League midfield combination. I don't argue with that, to be honest. I think we were all looking for it, Billy, weren't we? We were looking forward to it this year. A massive thanks to the TTR, says Mike, hosts, for a fantastic year and all things Newcastle United, and have a Merry Christmas and a fantastic New Year in 2025. By the way, don't forget, tomorrow night, 7:00, is our Christmas special. A one not to be missed, because simply it is going to be an hour of complete laughter and giveaways. We are going to give loads of prizes away tomorrow, especially to members, but also to viewers. We're going to have a quiz where you can come on the show, answer a few questions, see if you can get 3 in a row. If you get 3 right in a row, you win a prize. Yeah, so lots to look forward to there at 7:00 tomorrow night, Billy. Will you be wearing your Santa hat as in the thumbnail there?
Potentially. I think my bubbles fell off, though.
Oh, dear. Well, I mean, that's terrible if you're losing your bobble, Billy. I think that's a medical condition.
It's cold enough too, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. Paul and Billy, by the way, we have 4 games in January. Arsenal have 8 or 9, which will benefit us, I hope. Yeah, there's a lot of games coming up for Arsenal. So, KB, a very good evening from Belfast, of course, KB. Cynical Jim, I lived in the Midlands and in Essex and would never move back to anywhere else. Yeah, exactly. Claire says, Eddie has been slow in working out where to play Tonali. We are almost half a season in. Yes, but it's happened. It's happened. And that's the thing we've got to concentrate on now. John Mitchison, who's been a member for exactly a year. Thank you very much, John, for your support. I watch every Newcastle game on TV via the internet with the sound off and listen to your excellent commentary in the IOM. Do you know what the IOM is, Billy?
Yes, the Isle of Man.
That's right.
Stadshouse country.
It is. Glowstar says Lewis Hall is also the difference in recent performances. Got to be the best left back in the Premier League at this time. Nobody can deny that. Nobody. Not one person, I don't think, can claim that he's not up there, Billy.
I can't think anyone who's half as good, to be fair. Liverpool at the top, Andy Robertson. And his day was good play, but it's slightly over the top, I'd say.
Yeah.
Chelsea's left back is Kukurea. Left's left the better. You know, they're the top 2. Arsenal haven't got a left back as such. They play anyone there. Lots of clubs seem to don't have a left back. So, by design almost, Lewis Hall's the best. But even if they did have left backs, I mean, the fella's outstanding.
Julie says, people seem to forget that Tonali, Bruno, Isak and Gordon were slow burners at the start of the season. There were. But I think the problem with Isak, Billy, was we couldn't, or Eddie was trying to maybe work out how to get the best out of him and how to get him into our style of play. And from what I've seen in the last 3, 4 games, 5 games, he's moving more for the ball. He's not just staying through the middle. He's coming deep. He's going wide. He's doing everything he can to make sure he's involved in the game. And boy, was he involved yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, before Tonali's ban ended, of course, and then he was having that kind of period where Eddie was trying to ease him in gently. We were lumping it a lot of the time as well. You know, some of the long balls that Sharon was hitting was straight up to the middle. Alexander Isak can't get any balls like that, and therefore he had no chances.
Yeah.
Since the changes come, and slightly before that actually, because Isak's looked pretty good for a couple of weeks. Aside from that, you know, he's been wanting to get involved, taking players on, and he's scored 10 goals now, and I think he'll get another 10, 15. So, yeah, an outstanding player now, and we're now feeding him in the way he needs to be at his best.
Yeah. Now, one player that really shone yesterday, Billy, was Jacob Murphy. Seems to be improving match after match, and people are expecting this little sort of. Murphy normally has a cameo, doesn't he? Of maybe 1 or 2 games, and then he goes quiet again. But this has been a really good run for Jacob, and is performing brilliantly on the right-hand side. Goals, assists, he's doing everything, really, isn't he? And what a game yesterday! I mean, that assist for Isak's goal, it's not getting talked about enough for me.
Absolutely not. To me, it's one of the best assists you've ever seen in Premier League history. It's the cheek of it and the actual skill to pull it off. It's phenomenal. And had the chance that Alexander Isak had earlier in the game where he fed it through the defenders onto his left foot. I mean, that would have been another one, another Kevin De Bruyne type assist. He's doing it week in, week out, assists or goals or both. Yeah, you've got to give the kid credit. He's playing out of his skin.
It's definitely a bit of both, isn't it? He knows where the net is. He knows how to finish. And look, I'll say this again. Murphy is not the answer to the right-hand side, okay? There is an elite player that we need to come in and be there. But to have Murphy in the squad with the capabilities that he has, it's a perfect scenario for Eddie Howe, because if you can rely on Jacob Murphy to come on in games or give whoever does eventually end up with the right-hand position, give them a rest, he knows he's got a player in Jacob who, if he continues like this, is a fantastic replacement.
Well, if you buy an elite right winger, he doesn't want to be playing week in, week out. And if you've got someone that's, I mean, playing the way Jacob Murphy's playing the minute, he's not far off being an elite right winger.
Well,
at this moment in time.
I know.
I mean, maybe that form isn't going to last forever, but if you can supplement him with a player that's got almost as much quality, then he's fully rested and when he does play, he's playing on all cylinders. So, yeah, I like this Murphy kind of situation, because he'll get plenty of minutes if we sign a right winger. I'm pretty sure we will. So it'll work both sides. And Jacob Murphy, at the precise moment in time, yeah, he's playing the best football of his career, no doubt about it.
Yep. And listen, he can only go out there and do his best, and he's doing his best for us. And I'm certainly not going to complain at that. I think it's brilliant the way he's performing at the minute, and well done to him. Lisa's Bakayoko being rested tonight. I did see that. Of course, he was heavily linked with us earlier on in the week and rested tonight. I mean, that's a strange time to rest a player, Billy, before the transfer window opens.
It opens the door to all sorts of rumours and stuff, doesn't it? So,
well, he's been heavily linked. His agent has said that PSV won't stand in the way either. But we'll see what happens. Simon Muller, member for 9 months on the channel. Thank you, Simon. Evening, gents. Isak's assist for Murphy at Everton, or Murphy's assist for Isak at Ipswich? Oh, well, I'll tell you something. I mean, Isak
didn't count as an assist, did it?
It didn't, no. But I see where he's going with it. I mean, look, Isak, he went from the halfway line. He passed about the whole Everton side before it eventually landed at Murphy's feet. So, really, I mean, it was a wonderful piece of football, but so was Murphy's. And I can't really rate them between them. I think they were just 2 fantastic pieces of football that we should just cherish, really, because Murphy had 3 or 4 Ipswich players around him. He had the nous to know exactly where Isak was, and to be fair to Isak as well, he controlled the ball really well before just that little sort of toe poke into the corner. That was just a clinical finish. And of course, he could have had a couple more, Isak, yesterday. The 1-on-1 was a big miss. Peter Garthwaite, thank you for your super chat. Sky Sports have quoted that Anthony Robinson from Fulham is the best left back in the division. Also, did you see Eddie Howe say we may not buy in January? Peter, first of all, take no notice of Eddie Howe, all right? Because we know what he's like when it comes to transfer windows. He's not going to give anything away. He's not going to say anything. I think he said this, that quote that Peter's come out with, Billy, I think Eddie said it every single window since he's been at the club. So just put that to one side. Let's wait and see what happens without speculating what Eddie said or how much money we've got. Let's see what happens in January.
I mean, the word may can cover all sorts of things, can't it?
Exactly.
May not also means may, doesn't it?
Yeah, we may not. Okay, we may not, but we probably will. And by the way, a massive congratulations to Alice Talks Football, by the way, because she's just hit 100,000 subscribers on her channel.
Very good.
So absolutely magnificent for her. So she's been doing it, I think she said, about 12 years. Absolutely fantastic. So, of course, a friend of the channel. Well done, Alice, and congratulations on that as well. Let's have a look. Another super chat from Warren Dinning. Would we be happy with Tomori and Bakayoko this January?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Listen, we have to have expectations, right, guys? And the expectations are, I expect us to bring two players in as a fan. 2 players would do me. Michael McIntyre, thank you for your super chat. Hi all, Toon. I mean, Billy, I think we've got to sort of be very sensible about this. You know, we're not going to get 3, 4, 5 players in the door in January. It'll probably be 1 or 2, but they'll be of quality.
The thing is, I think a striker's important. I think we need to get a striker.
Yeah, I do as well.
Centre-back's not so important because Bottom's on his way back. I don't buy into this right foot, left foot stuff. Obviously, next summer we'll need to buy one because Sheriff clearly is on his way down. And the right wing, again, we need a right winger just to keep Murphy honest, if you like. Because if Murphy's going to keep playing like this, you know, if you've got no competition, if Miggy is going, he'll have no depth behind him. So we definitely need a right winger and an elite one.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So out of the 3, I would say striker and right wing would be my first choices.
Yeah. Ike for PM says, thank you for your super chat. Listen to City Song of Fog of the Tyne album, and that will sum up London. I know exactly the quote you mean. I used to love Linda's Fan back in the day. Gary Clark, thank you for a super chat. Murphy's play is why Mitchell can afford to look for the type of undervalued young players he's known for. It's given them thought, hasn't it, Billy? If anything else, you know, the question for me is, do they concentrate? You mentioned the striker there. I 100% agree with that. I think a striker is a necessity because we can't rely on Callum Wilson. It doesn't matter if he's going to be fit in January. The likelihood is he'll be fit in January and he'll be injured again in January because I think his body's completely shutting down. He can't keep up with the rigors of what the Premier League needs. So I definitely think a striker. But the question is it a right winger or a centre-back that is going to be the other side and that we concentrate on?
No, I think it'd be right winger. Because I think Almiron's going to go in January when you can't just have one. I mean, Eddie Howe might think he could play Barnes and Gordon there regularly. I don't think he can. I don't think he can play them at all. So to put a specialist left-footed right winger, or even a 2-footed right winger like Murphy is, that's the key for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Super chat from Douglas. Thank you, mate. Hi, Paul and Billy and all involved in making TTR the best show on YouTube. Merry Christmas to you all and keep up the good old work. Thank you very much, Douglas. Much appreciated. Right, well, let's hear from Eddie Howe, shall we? This is what the manager had to say at the end of the game. And I've put the picture of Eddie in a very sort of gangster look that I got off the internet yesterday, which just says how he'd be feeling after the game. But this is what he had to say.
Yeah, it was a really good start to the game. I think we've been slow starters on the road at times this year, and it's been a huge frustration. A lot of the time we've been chasing the game, having conceded the first goal, and as you know, it's very, very difficult to do that at this level. So today, roles reversed. We scored the early goal and never looked back really from that moment.
How pleased was it that you were so impressive after that. That you never really took your foot off the pedal, did you?
No, we didn't, especially in that first half. And I think I had the feeling for me today of an away game in our Champions League qualification season where we were really good on the road. We were fluent, we were confident. I felt we could score at any time. And I think today had that feeling, and that's no critique of Ipswich. They're a very good team, and they gave us problems in the second half. I really like how they play. But I just thought we were good today. We were good with the ball, and we created chances. And that's much more like ourselves, I think.
And you had Alexander Isak there to finish chances off. He's the first man to score a hat-trick for Newcastle for more than 5 years, and it's a special day for him.
Yeah, really special day for him. I'm really pleased for him individually. He gets the accolade of the hat-trick. Always when a player scores that number of goals, the team has to function well. So that pleases me that he's in the right position to take those chances.
Billy, he mentioned there the performance reminded him of how we used to play in that Champions League season. And I have to agree with that. That, seeing us play like that away from home, because when we qualified for that Champions League, we were untouchable when we went away from home as well, because we played exactly how we did at home. So I understand him, saying that, and that's now the bar set, in my opinion. You know what I mean? We know we can do it now away from home. And I know, listen, people are going to say, well, we've only played Leicester and Ipswich, but you can only beat what's in front of you. And Ipswich have not lost like that all season. They've always been in the game.
To maintain that level of press after having 3 games in 7 days is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And because we can do that in 3 games in 7 days, then I expect to see it every game of the season now.
And I think people, again, it's not talked about enough, Billy, that we had those 3 games. We've played literally the same side, all those 3 games. And, he mentioned the interviewer there said, were you impressed that you didn't take the foot off the pedal? And we didn't, because that's what's happened so many times at the early part of the season, where we've looked really good for 10, 15 minutes, and then suddenly the foot's taken off the gas and we go to pieces. That didn't happen. That hasn't happened for 3 games now. We've just maintained that throughout the 90.
Yeah, it's down to conditioning, I guess. I guess it's taken him that long to get the side into some kind of fitness where they can do that.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's taken so long. I guess injuries in certain positions, the key to getting Tonali in the side, not having the depth to change players around. I guess that's partly to do with it. But yeah, it's a shame, because if we could have done this 6 weeks ago, then where would we be in the table now?
Yeah, but the thing is, we do know that sometimes it takes a while to work out your best team. Managers, they've got such a big squad there that sometimes the best 11 takes a while. But what I like about what he's doing at the minute is he's given that first 11 type to gel. And you can see the results on the pitch now. Players, you remember earlier on in the season, Billy, some of the players didn't know where the hell they were supposed to be, or they just were looking confused, and we were all over the place. Now, everybody knows the position, everybody knows the role, and when we play like that, nobody touches us. Even the Liverpools and Man Cities of this world, they struggle against it as well.
Yeah, I mean, we took it to Liverpool at St James's Park, didn't we?
We did, yeah, we did.
A great game of football. It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
The difference was that Liverpool have an attacking threat of their own, and if they're pressed, they can get out of it. Then that makes for a fantastic game of football. I didn't think as such yesterday's football was a great game of football. It wasn't a battle. It was a one-sided affair. But as a Newcastle fan, I love that.
Yeah.
For a neutral, it isn't really good.
Yeah, we want to see that every single game.
Except for the skills that were involved in it. But there you go.
Gary Clark, thank you for another super chat. I like Eddie, but I can't see that picture and not remember what George Carlin said about cigars. Dear me. Murph is playing out of his skin, says Dangle, at the moment, but we need to remember Miggy was 2 a couple of years ago. Let's not make the same mistake twice and not strengthen the right wing in January. TTR is the best on YouTube. Thank you, mate. I don't think we'll make that mistake again, despite Murphy playing well. We spoke about that earlier, Billy. I think it is a necessity we bring in a right winger.
Yes, I do think that. However, I think the situation is different, because Jacob Murphy, for the first time in his Newcastle United career, now can consider himself the first choice right winger, where he's going to get a big run a game together, and he's having runs a game together, and we're seeing the results of it. So it's slightly different. Slightly different.
But the fact that we expect Miggy to go in January makes another big statement there, doesn't it? So, Newcastle always lose to teams like that, then beat Arsenal the week after. Well, times are changing. Andy says, I'd sell Miggy, Barnes, Longstaff and Willock in January. That ought to give us a bit of a transfer war chest to spend on a centre-back, right winger and a striker.
Well, if you do that, then you leave yourself short on the left-hand side, mate, because Barnes, Willock, you leave yourself with just Gordon and Joe Linton. So, you alleviating one problem and creating another.
Yeah, I must admit, Billy, I was a little bit disappointed with Willock yesterday. After what he did when he came on for the second half against Brentford, I was expecting more from him yesterday. But other players really stood out above him.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not that he was rubbish. I expected him to be more involved.
I feel sorry for him because I just felt that yesterday was the game where everything else went through everyone else, if you like. Everything went through everyone else. He got himself involved, and he was a bit panicky in front of goal. And had he been relaxed and his usual good self and cool self in front of goal, I think he'd have probably scored. But I think trying to impress has kind of cost him a goal yesterday. Yeah.
And again, Anthony Gordon's finishing a little to be desired. He could have had a hat-trick himself. There was the opportunity at the back post. He was on a stretch there, but then there was the header, which, he should have scored, Billy. If we're being openly honest, he should have scored there. And then when he cut in on his right foot, I think it was in the second half, he literally passed it back to the goalkeeper. If he had the finishing of a Harvey Barnes, for instance, I think he'd be on many more goals than what he's got.
Yeah, he's not a natural finisher, is he? And like Isak is, like Barnes is. But he creates his own chances. So, Harvey Barnes can't create chances for himself like Anthony Gordon can. And so he's getting a larger volume of chances. So, I like Gordon inside. So I think he creates a lot more. He creates a lot of danger and lots of threats to the defensive side he's playing against.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting having a man of the match poll tonight. Who do we put in here?
Oh, well, there's a question. And thank you for reminding me to do it, Billy. Michael McIntyre, thank you for another super chat. Just congratulating Alice on 100,000 subscribers. Yes, player of the match. Go on, who's your first one, Billy? You're going to have to pick two each tonight.
Yeah, well, obviously Jacob Murphy.
Jacob Murfinho. I'm going to put Alexander Isak, obviously. The guy got a hat-trick.
Yep.
This is a tough one for the viewers tonight. Who's your next one, Bill?
Well, I'm going to go one way. You're going to go do that. I'll go for Bruno.
Okay. And I'll go for Sandro Tonali. Now, again, just to let everybody know, we can only go for 4 players. It won't give us an option to go for any more than that. I know some people will say Lewis Hall, etc. There was a lot of good performances, but obviously when we do the player ratings, we'll go through that as well as to who's done what. So there it is. Player of the match: Jacob Murphy, Alexander Isak, Bruno, or Sandro Tonali. That is now pinned, and get voting, guys, and we'll see at the end of the show who your man of the match is. Not an easy one for the viewers. I must admit, it's a difficult one tonight for you guys. I feel for you having to pick him man of the match. Peter Garthwaite says, do you think this is Eddie Howe's work or James Bunce's? Well, it's not James Bunce. He's a fitness guy. I would put the turnaround in form. Look, people have been very hard on Eddie Howe the last few weeks, and rightly so. We ain't been that good until we've done a little bit of a turnaround here. Now, I've never wanted Eddie Howe sacked. I've been on the fence, I have to say. I was unsure. Billy, where do you stand at the minute?
Fence.
And that's fair enough. And you know what? It's a very funny fan base, the Newcastle one, because when we win a game, everybody comes out and says, oh, where's the Eddie Howe outers and all of this? It doesn't bloody matter. Just celebrate a win. You know what I mean? Why are we having to try and have digs at each other as fans just because we've got an opinion? It's ridiculous.
I'm just waiting for the next time I have a little bit of adversity. And it's how he comes out of that for me, is whether I'm fully 100 million% behind him. Obviously, I'm 100 million% behind him anyway, because I want us to win every week. Simple as that.
You know, people were getting worried. People were starting to sort of slope over the fence. But listen, it doesn't matter. You know, let's just celebrate some winning performances instead of having to go at each other saying, oh, where's the Eddie Howe outers? Where's the Eddie Howe inners? It doesn't frigging matter. Everyone's got an opinion. Just go with it and just enjoy the fact that we're on a winning run now. And hopefully this has turned the season around a little bit. Tyson says everyone is open for praise and criticism. It's okay to share views and to change them. Absolutely. Claire says, I'm sick of those accounts. Just enjoy the win. 100%. Yes. Julie says, we've got a very tough run coming up. A lot of away games in a row. We have. And again, it's going to test the players, which is what we want to see. We want to know where we are now. You know, are we good enough to go to these away games and perform? You know, Villa on Boxing Day is going to be a very tough game. But I'm really confident we win that. Despite Villa beating Manchester City, I'm more bothered about Newcastle United, how we're playing at the minute. And we can get it, Villa, definitely. Here we go. Abs is in the house. You have been pushing the Eddie out narrative since last season. Eddie has done a fantastic job. People very quickly forget that. Abs, you know, I know you've been a long-term viewer of the channel, but please shut your mouth. Please. Because I haven't done anything promoting an Eddie out narrative on this channel. I have always wanted Eddie Howe. I have always said I want Eddie Howe in. I want him to win something at this football club. And you can go back and watch the shows, the videos. I'll always say that. Have I criticised Eddie? Yes, I have. Very much so. But as a fan, I have a right to do that when I think Eddie's got things wrong and we're not playing very well. That's just opinions. But don't come on here saying we've pushed an Eddie out narrative on this channel because you're talking utter shite. Billy is the only one who said he wanted, he's still not sure. And that is fine because that is Billy's opinion as a Newcastle United fan. But don't dare come on here saying the channel's pushed a narrative. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Dear God. Then Ab says, no Eddie out poll this week. When have we just done an Eddie out poll? It said in, out, or on the fence, you bloody muppet. Stop trying to cause trouble. Just enjoy the fact that we're winning. Wow. Dear me. Paul says, I watched a few of your previous shows, Paul, and you said a few times about not wanting Eddie out. Thank you. I know what I said. But I also allow people to say Eddie out. Yes, I do, because it's their frigging opinion. I also say, and I also promote people saying Eddie in. Honestly, what is the matter with some people in this world? Jesus Christ.
I've never ever done it knee-jerkingly either. It's always been a few kind of games or weeks where I've felt that Eddie Howe has made mistakes. And it doesn't look like...
But he has. He has
and doesn't look like fixing them.
Yeah.
He's fixed it now, and that's why I'm coming back the other way again. But as soon as we have a bit of adversity, and it's how he deals with that. If he can get us through that and still get us on positive points from the adversity, then I'll be fully. I don't want to go, but you know, I have my doubts whether we can.
I don't mind whether people want Eddie in or Eddie out. It doesn't bother me at all. I'm not Eddie out. I never have been Eddie out. I've been on the fence. I've worried about things. But that's natural when you're going through a bit of bad form and he's made a few errors. Doesn't matter. And I don't have a dig at people wanting Eddie out either. They've got their own opinions. They've got their own minds. But pushing a narrative, Jesus Christ, what a pathetic thing to say. And that's from a long-term viewer. Hang your head, Abs, to be honest. Dear God. Anyway, let's hear from the hat-trick guy, shall we? Alexander Isak spoke to NUFC TV after the game yesterday. And it's safe to say he was a very happy man.
No, really good. Happy, first of all, with the performance. It was really a really good away performance for us, and happy to bag my first hat-trick as well.
How much did it help getting the first goal so early on? How much did that help you to go on and do what you did in the game?
I think it helped a lot. I think the thing with us this season many times has been that we haven't started well. So obviously scoring that early gave us a boost, but there's still a lot of work to be done after that. And I think we managed to keep a really good level throughout the whole game.
What did you do so well to keep on going?
I think that felt like a a real Newcastle performance. I think we played our way. We played like we do at home, which we haven't done too many times this season. So we were speaking about that before, to play the same way, with the same intensity and the same energy as when we are home. So I really think we did.
Interesting comment there towards the end, Billy, when he says about we played the same way as we play at home, and we had a talk about that prior. So we know that something's been said in the dressing room, because the players have all come out in their interviews and said exactly the same thing. We need consistency. We need to play we need to be having that right attitude for every single game. And he mentioned it there, that the players have discussed it themselves, or whether they've discussed it with Eddie Howe. So that's great to hear.
It is, but then again, the question in my mind is, why now? Why not?
But Billy, I know you keep saying that, right? But at the same time,
but it's obvious. It's obvious. You play with with obviously with the same kind of way at home as what you do away, or should do. Don't try and over scientific I can't even think of the word for it. Make things more complicated than what they really are.
Yeah.
It's a simple game of football. And if you can play the same way away from home as what it is at home, it's even simpler. I don't get it. I just don't understand why it's taking it all.
But this happens in any sport, though, doesn't it, Billy? When teams go on a bad run, and maybe they do have. Look at Brentford, for instance. They have a fantastic best home record in the league, but away they're absolutely shambolic, and they can't put the finger on why that happens. And I guess it happens in all sorts of sports when teams go on a bad run, and everybody's saying, we just don't know what the problem is. And then suddenly it clicks, and everybody looks at it and say, well, why has it took so long, or why has it not happened? I guess yes, it shouldn't have happened, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge that these guys have now admitted there was a problem, and hopefully have addressed it and sorted it out.
Well, it's definitely been sorted out, but what we've seen in the past few weeks, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
My question is, it's taken way too long for it to do that. But again, the adversity thing, once we get through that, last season he didn't respond to adversity. Otherwise, we've been playing European football this season. Because we dropped too many points by not rotating players, by playing the same side over and over and over again, by keeping Kevin Trippier in the side way longer than what he should have.
Yeah.
So, and if he's learning from his mistakes and we get better for it, then I'm all behind him. And I think he will.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's important that he learns. And I think hopefully seeing the fact that he hasn't tinkered too much with the starting 11 in recent games, Billy, says to me that, maybe he has realised that, tinkering doesn't work at times. You've got to put your trust in the players, put your trust in what you're seeing on the pitch, and that they're gelling together really well.
I think he was trying to be too clever. That's all. I think.
Yeah,
he's on the verge of being an elite manager, and I guess he thinks, well, being an elite manager do elite manager things, and having more than one way of playing the game, whether it be at home and then do something different away. I just think our strengths are when we attack people, when we're aggressive, and that's what we should play with all the time. Yeah.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, we said it was a big week going into this week, wasn't it? It was a huge week, and we needed something to change, and we've seen it. We've seen it change. We've seen it right in front of our eyes. It's there for everybody to see. 39 subscribers away from 34,000, guys. 39. Now we've got 1,200 watching tonight on, of course, YouTube and X. Most are on. Well, we've got 1,100 watching on YouTube. I guarantee 39 of you won't be subscribed. So please hit that subscribe button, guys. It'd be great if we could start the show tomorrow, our Christmas show, having hit 34K. It would be incredible. So please, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's completely free to become a subscriber. But it really does help the channel. Right, let's move on to player ratings, Billy. Obviously, just me and you doing them tonight. Martin Dubravka, put in the chat, guys, what you think the player ratings were for each player as well. Very interested to know what you guys think as well. So, Dubravka, Bill.
He can only do what he can do. And
yeah.
He hasn't put a foot wrong since he's gone back in the side, if I'm perfectly honest.
He hasn't.
But he hasn't had a lot to do. But what he has had to do, he's done it perfectly. So I'll give him an 8.
An 8 for Dubravka. You know what, Billy? I thought his distribution was excellent yesterday.
Absolutely.
when he gets the ball at his feet, he's not panicking. He's not just slicing the ball away. And that's a strange thing for me, because I think he's for all we've said and worried about it, and the saves he's had to make, he's saved. The crosses he's had to deal with, he's dealt with them. So yeah, I'll go with an 8 as well. I mean, a clean sheet and did what he had to do. Tino Livramento, Billy.
Started quite nervously, but as the game went on, he got better. I do worry about his dithering. I do worry about his the way he plays. He always seems to want to turn back before he goes forward.
Yeah,
but defensively he was fine, and he did contribute in the end going forward. I'll give him a 7.
7. I've gone 7.5, but many of the same reasons, Billy. I was very frustrated the first 20 minutes when he kept on, especially I remember in the first, I think it was 15 minutes, he got the ball and he had around 20 yards of space to run into to drive us forward. And he turned back and gave it to Fabian Schär. And you kind of look at it thinking, why has he done that? You know, he's a very good player going forward. We've seen it. But for some reason, the confidence wasn't there. But I do think he grew into the game, definitely. Lewis Hall.
Right. How many superlatives do you want to say about him? I think he had probably Ipswich's best player against him yesterday, and he didn't really get a chance. Burns. I mean, Burns looked like the one that wanted to have a go. Mm-hmm. I think he got past him once in the whole game. The lowest you can give Lewis Hall of late is 8. But he's generally a 9, and I'm going to give him a 9 for yesterday.
Yeah. I'm 9 as well, Billy. I think he was outstanding. I just love watching him now. He still gives the ball away a little bit, but that's just his age. That's just his rawness, basically. This kid is going to become better and better and better, no doubt about it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Lewis Hall's career growing with Newcastle. Fabian Schär, Bill.
Passing was really good. Obviously, the first few seconds of the game, that ball was a phenomenal pass to Jacob Murphy. Yeah, a lot better, I thought, yesterday. A lot better. Attitude was right. I think he got done for pace once, but that was about it. I'll give him an 8.5.
8.5. I've given him an 8. Again, similar reasons. I thought some of his passing was annoying Fabian Schär, but then most of it was good Fabian Schär. He defended well, though. Nothing can take. What I liked about Fabian's game yesterday, Billy, was his back was all self about standing up, reading the play and then stepping up and intercepting the ball.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Much better attitude, much better performance.
Yeah. Dan Burn?
Yeah, similar, actually. I thought defensively sound and in attacking situations, and that's how kind of comfortable they were, because we saw both centre halves on the press yesterday. Yeah,
well, somebody mentioned it earlier, didn't they? That, Tonali sitting back and letting them have a bit of a run up field.
And could have had a goal right at the very end there. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah, same as me. I've just seen somebody in the comments saying Burn a donkey, but I'll give him a 6. I mean, why is he a donkey? Dan Burn has done nothing wrong since coming back into centre of defence. We all know his limitations, but we all know that how committed he is. And I don't think Burns put much of a foot wrong since he's been at centre back. I don't see how anybody can call him a donkey.
When he was having that kind of phase of play earlier in the season, where he was getting pulled out and following strikers, and then they were playing it in behind him, maybe then you could say it, but he's not done that for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, I agree. Sandro Tonali.
10. Absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah, I've gone 10 as well. 10 from Len, no doubt about it. He was just absolutely superb. And if this is the Tonali we get for his Newcastle career, Billy, boy, are we in for a treat.
Phenomenal performance.
Just incredible stuff. Bruno.
10. Phenomenal performance. Just the creativity of the fella.
Yeah.
That volley pass out to Gordon was something.
Oh, that was incredible, wasn't it?
It was Hoddle-esque.
Yeah, it was sliced across the ball. Right into his path as well, Billy. Gordon didn't have to stop running.
Just doing things alien, really. It's just a phenomenal footballer.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. And if I could give him more, I
would. 10 for me as well, no doubt about it. Joe Willock.
7 for me. I thought he was energetic, but things didn't really fall his way. but 7 for me.
You've gone for a 7.
Yeah.
Okay. I've gone 6. I didn't see enough from him, and it's not like I'm criticizing him. I just, I don't think he got involved as much as he could do, Billy. I think when he came on against Brentford, I think he was very, very forward thinking. He was getting the ball and he was taking people on and trying to shoot and trying to score. I didn't really see that yesterday. I saw very quiet Willock, and that's, I guess that's Joe Willock, isn't it? He's never just in the middle, is he? He's either quiet or he's outstanding.
He should definitely have scored, but he did a lot of work off the ball. He ball plays away with his runs. Defensively, he helped out as well. There's one time where he lost the ball, then went back and won it, which is something you don't associate with Joe Willock. What you associate him with is the calm finishing in front of goal. Definitely didn't see that yesterday, because if he had it, he'd have scored 2 himself.
Just seen a comment from Roberts, and he says he was in the Ipswich end, and even their supporters applauded that pass from Bruno.
Well,
I mean, it was the fact that Gordon didn't even have to break his stride either. From that kind of angle that he passed it at, it was just a worldie of a pass. And that's exactly what he can do. And that's why I like Bruno playing in the position he is, Billy, and Tonali sitting behind him.
It works perfectly, doesn't it? And it doesn't stop Tonali getting forward as well, because he goes forward at times as well. And he's got that bit of pace as well that gets him in behind players. It's a great combination. Really looking forward to seeing it flourish in the weeks to come. I
think that was it ended up being that weak shot from Gordon, wasn't it, when he cut in on his right and sort of passed it back to the goalkeeper. I mean, if he put that in, what a goal that would have been.
Well, there was 3 or 4 like that. There was the cross from Lewis Hall that Bruno hit the post with on the header. Yeah. That counter-attack was special.
Yeah.
The football we played yesterday, God, it was a Christmas treat for all, unless it was of course.
Jacob Murphy.
10. Easiest 10 I'll ever give. Yeah. An unbelievable assist, an unbelievable finish. Probably should have had another assist or 2 as well. It's not his fault that the striker or whoever was on the end of it didn't finish it. Just an outstanding performance. The pace he showed. I mean, people were talking about Leif Davis as kind of our replacement for Lewis Hall because they didn't think Lewis Hall was good enough. Jacob Murphy's left him on toast, screwed him into the ground, and whether they've got him out yet or not, I don't know. Jacob Murphy, 10 out of 10. And my man of the match.
Yeah, 10 for me as well. I thought he was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And what I love, Billy, is when you look back at that first goal, he made sure he stayed on side because he was looking right along the line of where the defender was, and he was bang in line. And obviously, I know that the linesman that you're not fond of, but
it was someone else. It was someone that looked like Natalie or something. It was commentator.
All right, okay. So you give her a load of hammer for no reason, Billy, because she didn't send you off for no reason back in the day.
Not that one, no. Someone who looks like it did.
All right. So is that your way of apologising to the lady?
Well, yes. I'm sorry, Natalie, whatever your name was. You should have stuck your flag up, you silly woman.
Oh dear. Anthony Gordon.
How to score? Assist. Should have scored. I'll give him an 8.
8. I've gone 8.5 for Gordon because I think he played well. He was taking players on, did the usual stuff, but I think again his finishing let him down. And I think Anthony Gordon will be the first to admit that his finishing needs improvement. And hopefully that's something he's going to work on and work on hard, because if he can get that finishing, the world's his oyster for goals as far as I'm concerned, because he's got the ability to beat anybody in the penalty area. It's just that final finish, really, isn't it? And Alexander Isak, Billy.
Well, he's got a hat trick, so you can't not give him a 10. But if he should have had 5.
He should have.
He should have had 5, but I'm going to give him a 10 for the hat trick.
I mean, what is it about one-on-ones, do you think, Billy?
He's thinking about it. It's when he doesn't have to think about it. It's instinctive. He's fine. Incidentally, Callum Geordie just beat one in the dart, so he goes through to the 3rd round.
Nice one. 10 for Isak from me as well. Could have had as many as he wanted yesterday. I have no idea what this thing is about him with one-on-ones. I'm sure it's a sort of little ghost in his head at the minute, because he just doesn't look confident when he's one-on-one. But you said yesterday when we were commentating, Billy, that it seems to be when he's got time to think, that's when he struggles. And yet when he's instinctive, because he's one of those instinctive strikers. So if the ball comes to him and he's got no time to deal with it, he just he's a different class.
Andy Cole's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yep. Kieran Trippier, Billy, substitute.
I thought he was okay when he came on. Yeah, I thought he contributed. Didn't have much to do defensively, but kept the ball going and passed it nicely. I'll give him a 7.
7. Yeah, I've gone for 7 as well. I think Kieran Trippier, he's just a solid player, isn't he? And he's good to have coming off the bench, I guess. Oh, wow. You know my call out for subscribers, Billy? You know how many subs we've got since I made that appeal?
Don't know. You tell me.
2. How it, guys? There must be 37 of you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Come on.
If you're next and you haven't come on the YouTube channel, get yourself over on the Toon Review on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for us.
Yeah, 37 guys. That's all we need. That is all we need. There's 1,200 watching. There must be 37 of you that haven't subscribed. Come on, give us a nice Christmas present, guys. We've got what, 5 minutes left of the show. Come on, guys, hit that subscribe button. Free to do so. That's my last appeal. Harvey Barnes, Billy.
I think it's okay. Yeah, obviously much more comfortable when he goes into the left. Can't have him on the right. He's not quick enough to get round the outside of fullbacks. But get him on the left. Yeah, he's fine. I'll give him a 7.
I feel a bit sorry for Harvey at the minute. I've gone 7 as well, but I feel very sorry for him because he's not a right winger. He's clearly better on the left. He loves to cut in and rifle right foot shots, but at the minute he's having to cut in from the right and hit it with his left, which he can. I was waiting for that. Yes, that tickles Billy immensely. Thank you very much for that.
In the Navy.
Yes, whatever. Longstaff, Billy.
It was okay. Yeah, he did a few more tried a few more creative things. Kept the ball moving, just much like Trippier did. I'll give him a 7 as well. Yeah,
I think 7's. I mean, look, they came on when the game was dead and buried, didn't they? And it was just a case of seeing the game out, and in a professional way. And they did. They did take the foot off the gas. They clearly did second half, but they didn't really have to really put it to the metal, Billy, in the second half. Once they got the 4th goal, it was just a case of, if we score any more, it's a bonus, but let's just keep passing it around and get Ipswich chasing the game again. Which is exactly what they did. Who was next to come on? Miggy.
Yeah, Miggy,
yeah. Miggy, Billy?
I liked his effort. I liked his...
Oh, God. Is that where we are now? I liked his effort. I mean, yeah, okay.
One beautiful little flick he did, actually, which we haven't seen from him for a long time. To one of their players, mind, but still, it was a nice flick. I'm going to give him a 7. We won 4-0. 7.
Fucking hell, you generous bastard. I'm giving him a 5. Ab says, I hope Susan is working on Paul's sailor outfit. I can 100% guarantee that is just not happening. And Lewis Miley, Billy, making an appearance at last.
Yes, I enjoyed what he did as well.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked quick. He looked stronger. He put a few pounds on. He's still got the creative bit as well. I'll give Lewis Miley a 7.5.
7.5. I've given him a 7. I think he was good. He did his job. He looks good as well. But I like the way he looks like he's filled out a bit, Billy, which is a promising sign. Get a bit of physicality on him as well. Toon Joe says, hello, lads. Great content as always. And an amazing performance yesterday. Any plans for a live pod show in 2025? I think you'd get a good crowd. We were going to do one earlier this year, but it didn't come to fruition. We will plan to do one because I think it'll be brilliant to sort of meet everybody as well, and do a live show from a venue. We are working on that, and hopefully that is something that will happen next year, definitely. Right, Eddie Howe, Billy, finally.
Yeah, I'm not going to be churlish about it. 4-0. Playing football the way we want to see it played.
Yeah, and
with results like we want to see. I'm going to give him a 10.
Yeah, I've given him a 10 as well. And look, I know people are saying, where was Asula? But he clearly does not think Asula is ready yet. Now, look, for me, I don't understand it. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Only Eddie knows that, and the player himself. Eddie's, to be fair to Eddie, he said it quite a few times that he's a future player at the club. He's not a here and now player. I think he went through other options yesterday. But when you win the game 4-0, you can't turn around and say anything to the manager, quite honestly, because we went out, we played a really good game of football, we battered them, and we've come away with a 4-0 win. So, of course, he gets a 10. Well, I mean, how can he not?
You couldn't have both Asula and Miley on. So he needed to get minutes in Miley's legs. Yeah. I think it was I wouldn't have brought Asula on yesterday. I'd have done it earlier before he did all the other changes. But once he got to the end, it was either Miley or Asula. I was quite happy to see Lewis Miley come on.
Yeah. Kendall says if he's not a here and now player, put him on loan. Otherwise, he's rotting on the bench. Look, I think he should go out on loan. But given the people would look a bit strange at that and think, well, hang on a minute. We haven't got Wilson. He's out injured. Isak's the only striker. Why are we going to get rid of him? I think he's just keeping him on the bench. And he gets experience that way of being around the first team anyway. But I get your point. I do. Steve Headers says, are you boys excited by our next 3 matches? Villa, we can beat. We'll wipe our arse on Man United, then put 7 past the Spuds again. Can see us winning all 3. Well, I have to say I'm looking forward to playing Manchester United, Billy, at Old Trafford, because I think if we can play anywhere like we've been playing in the last few games, we will batter Manchester United.
Yes, although they do raise the game for us, but yeah, I agree.
They do.
I think the Villa game's a big one. If we could play anywhere near our potential and how we have been playing, then we can really make a statement against Aston Villa.
Yeah, I agree. Right, let's do the player of the match from the viewers. Who do you think, Billy?
Murphy.
A very difficult one for the viewers, obviously, tonight. However, the winner is Alexander Isak on 38%, Murphy on 37%, Sandro on 21%, and Bruno on 9%. So Alexander Isak has won the viewers' player of the match by... actually, hang on. It changed as I ended the vote, Billy. It's 37 apiece now. 20% for Bruno and 4% for... Sorry, 4% for Bruno, 20% for Tonali. So it was a draw.
I mean, that was ridiculous. 4% for Bruno. But having said that...
I know. I mean, 4%, but at the same time, Isak and Murphy were outstanding.
I mean, 4% for Bruno's best performance for, I don't know, maybe 12 months.
But that just says how well everybody else played, doesn't it? Really, the players that have been voted higher. I think it's quite deserved, actually. A draw for Murphy and Isak. I think that's a fair result.
I agree.
Gary Clark says, I can't help but wonder if the office is waiting for CF to try to get Jonathan David on a free this summer.
I'm not sure you could get Jonathan David because he wouldn't want to come as a number 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought.
Ab says, Paul's consistent low scoring of Bruno rubbing off on the viewers. Billy, what did I vote Bruno tonight?
To give him a 10, did you?
I think I did, yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me just consult my little black book here. Let's see if Abs is right on my low score. So I went 10 for Bruno tonight. Hang on a minute. I need my other book because I wrote it in my other book, the last couple. Bollocks. I can't find it. Oh, whatever. I'll find it at some stage. Brentford away, in which we got pummeled. He got a 6. And to be fair, you and Alex gave him a 6. Liverpool at home, I gave him a 9. Palace away, I gave him a 4.5, and rightly so. Billy gave him a 4, and Alex gave him a 5.5. West Ham at home, a 5, because we were shit. Forest away, a 9. Arsenal at home, a 9. I think that puts it all to bed, Abs. Let's not bother going on anymore, shall we? Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget, tomorrow night, it is the big one. It is our Christmas show where we will be giving loads of prizes away. Even Abs has a chance of winning some prizes. So make sure you're with us from 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Lots of members giveaways tomorrow, so click the join button, become a member of the channel, and of course, quizzes where you can come on, answer some questions. And I must reiterate, you don't need a camera. You can come on just using your phone microphone or your computer's microphone, and you can just take the questions from us. If you get 3 in a row right, and there will be Newcastle-based questions, of course. Hang on a minute. Toon Army says you can't do a live venue. It would look like stars in your eyes with all the vapes. Yes, it probably would. So yeah, get on, answer 3 in a row, and get a chance of winning some prizes. It's going to be a fantastic show. The best way to build up to Christmas, of course, right here on the Toon Review. Let me see if my call out for subscribers worked. Oh, we're 30 away.
Well, what was when we started? 40 something, wasn't it?
940, something like that. 33,970. So we're 30 away from the magical 34,000. So thank you to everybody that has subscribed. Really do. Thank you for that. Thank you for your memberships and your super chats tonight, Billy. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, and a massive thank you to you guys out there. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We really, really do appreciate it. Don't forget to give it a like before you leave, and of course, subscribe if you're new. And finally, a massive thank you to Mamaroo Records for sponsoring the channel. Check them out in Whitley Bay if you're ever in the area, or if you want to have a look online. Their shop is pinned at the top of the description. But until tomorrow, in prep for our fantastic show, we will see you then. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night, folks. Good night.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some green.